The ladder diagram is the diagram that shows us the operation of the system. Now, this diagram that we have we talked about its functions last week. 2 days ago. We talked about its function. What is this piece? What is the function of this piece of equipment that we're looking at? What functions can it provide us? Heat, cooling,
and
heat, cooling, and circulation of air. That would be correct. That is operation. Fan is operation. Circulation of air is a viable function of this unit because it is on our control circuit. We know that because it's on our control circuit. How do we know it's on our control circuit?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Fan operation. How do we know that's in our control circuit?
We see
The G terminal. That would be correct. And G represents what? Fan. G represents fan. Somebody said, well, why not F for fan? Why not A for cool? Well, not what A for AC and why not H for heat? Because it is color coded. Because it is color coded. Green represents fan. Y represents cooling. And W represents what? Heat. Represents heat. So, our diagram. If I wanted to turn on fan, what would I do? If I wanted to turn on this fan, what would I do? If that was a question on this test, the first thing in the operation of what I wanted to do, I wanted to turn on the fan. What was the first thing? What is the first thing I need to do if I want to turn on the fan? Go to the thermostat. Go to the selector switch and put it on. When I put it on fan on, what is the first thing is going to happen? I do.
It's going to go to the terminal block.
It's going to go to the terminal block. And then what happens after it leaves the terminal block?
It's going to go to the indoor fan relay coil.
It is going to energize the IFR coil. Everybody see that?
Yes.
I need a harmonious yes. Before I pass the collection plate around. We all got to be on the same page. It don't work for y'all if some of y'all feel it half-heartedly, then the collection won't be as big. But if I get a yes out of everybody, or if I get the first thing that happens when I energize, and first of all, let's go back. Let's talk about this. Since we didn't get a harmonious yes, let's go back to the transformer. Everybody see the transformer, right? Everybody know what the transformer is, right?
Yes.
Yes, all right. So we see the transformer. We go to the left of the transformer. We go to the R. Then we have dot, dot, dot. What does dot, dot, dot mean? Field wiring. That is correct. Field wiring means we make that connection ourselves. We make that connection to the thermostat. We go into the thermostat. We got 2 selector switches. Now we got 4 switches in this diagram. 2 of them are selector switches. The other 2 are what kind of switches? Temperature switches or thermal switches. So we find our selector switch for fan, and we see it between on and auto. Right now it's in the middle of both of them. We put it on. We complete the circuit to the G terminal. Dot, dot, dot to the board, the terminal block. And then after the G in the terminal block, we see the IFR. The IFR is energized after completing the circuit to the other side of the transformer. Once we complete that circuit, the IFR is energized. What happens after the IFR is energized? The IFR contact closed. Now, you see the IFR contacts? How many is it? Two. And what do you notice about them?
One has a thermal.
Just the IFR contacts.
Oh, one's open, one's closed.
One's open, one's closed. So when that IFR coil is energized, the open one will close. The closed one will open. So what speed of the fan is working when I energize the IFR coil? The high speed. That would be correct. Now, why do we go through all that? We go through all of that because one day, and one day soon, getting closer and closer on you as we speak, you are going to be at a unit and the fan motor will not be working. The layman will say, well, I got a bad fan motor. The jackleg will say, well, shoot, any of this stuff could be bad. I'm going to get every part in this circuit. Now, if he got every part in this circuit, he would need the transformer. He would need the thermostat. He would need the indoor fan relay coil and contacts. And he would need the fan motor. Not the fan switch, because the fan switch is only for low speed. We trying to get this unit to work on high speed. So he would need all of those component parts, the jackleg, and the jackleg don't mind as long as you paying. Jackleg will go pick them all up. Jackleg will go back to the shop and grab every part that's in that circuit. And he'll say, I'm going to start with the cheapest. No, I'm going to start with the easiest part first. But he does not have to do that. The jackleg does not have to do that. The jackleg has to learn how to read this diagram. Now, the first thing that I say we should know, and all of y'all can come up with your own troubleshooting methods. You can come up with it yourself. You can figure out how you want to do it. And some people say, nah, Johnson, I don't like doing it like that. And I feel I'm okay with that, long as we get to the same end result. And the end result is finding out which component part is bad. I like starting off with the 24 volts. I want to know whether or not I got 24 volts. If I check this circuit and I got 24 volts, that lets me know a lot about our circuit. What's two things I know? The transformer is good. The transformer is good. If the transformer is good and I'm getting 24 volts, it also lets me know what? I got line voltage. That is correct. That means I got line voltage. If I got line voltage, if I got 24 volts, that means I have line voltage. Now from here is where we can kind of be a little bit more flexible. This is where people can go in their own directions, in my opinion. But that is the main thing that you want to check first, is to see if you got 24 volts. But now we got 24 volts. Now we got to start checking things. Now I like to go the easiest route first. So I'm going to take the thermostat off. That's my main control. Or I'm going to go to this terminal block, if it is a terminal block I can get to and is easily accessible, because I can do the same thing. Whatever one is the easiest to access is what I'm going to do. If I have to take my thermostat loose with screws and I have to unscrew it, then I'm going to try to do it from the furnace itself. I'm going to go down to the terminal block. And I'm going to get a jumper wire with clips. And I am going to clip between R and G. Now, by doing that, what did I do by clipping from R to G?
You bypass the selected switch. identified, if everything is correct past that, the fan will come on.
That's correct. If I jump it from R to G, I am going to bypass the thermostat. And if the thermostat is bad or if the thermostat's not working, I am going to energize the IFR and the fan should come on. But if the fan does not come on, if the fan does not come on, if the fan does not come on, thermostat is not my problem.
It could be the contactor or it could be your coil.
Relay coil.
Either where the contactor and the coil is one part, even though they don't represent themselves as the same part on this diagram because they're in two different places, the IFR coil and the IFR contacts are the same component part. So if I jump it and it does not come on, it tells me either my IFR coil and contact are bad, because if one of them's bad, the whole thing is bad, or my fan or my capacitor is bad. So what I'm going to do at this point, I am going to jump my fan motor. I am going to go to my open IFR contact, and I am going to jump over it. I jump over it. Fan does not come on. So that lets me know that it is not my contact or my coil. The fan is not coming on. The next easiest thing after that would be to check the capacitor. I get out my capacitor checker. I look at the motor. I try to find out how many microfarads the motor is. I put my capacitor checker on my capacitor. I read for microfarads. I should get 5. I get 5. I have a bad fan motor. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. After all that we did, we have a bad fan motor. And it takes about that amount of time. Doesn't take long. Doesn't take long. Usually it's not the last thing that you look at. It's usually one of those things in between. The fan motor is the most expensive thing in that circuit that we just looked at. The fan motor is the most important, expensive thing in that fan motor, in that circuit that we just looked at. The fan motor is